Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Now it has been a while since I've shown you a destroyer battle, so today we are watching 19 Mr. Love 86 in the Fujin, the tier 5 Japanese premium destroyer. He is on the map Trident in an epicenter battle, and it's a tier 7 battle, which is the worst matchmaking you can get. But there is no carrier, which is great because the planes can be, well, very annoying if they keep spotting you. And there are only 2 enemy destroyers around. So, let's see how this goes. Now the Fujin is a kamikaze class destroyer and it's only on sale at Halloween. It has a pretty nice camo actually. And yeah, it's certainly a decent ship to play. Now as usual, this replays on warreplays.com and there will be a link in the video description. Now here in the beginning, Mr. Love is going towards the center, and in epicenter you always want to have somebody here in the middle contesting the cap. It seems like there are some battleships here going towards the flank. That's not necessarily a bad choice. You want to have ships in the center, but it can be hard to push unless you control at least one flank and you can get some flanking shots on the guys in the center. And I mean, controlling the flank can help in flushing out enemies who hide behind the islands. Now they also have some ships here on the left flank. I'm not sure if you want to split up and... I mean, having ships at 3 points spreads your line pretty thin. So I guess controlling the center and one flank might be a better choice, but we shall see. Those ships here don't necessarily push. I mean, they would just rejoin the main force here in the center. Now Mr. Love fired some torpedoes trying to catch the kamikaze, but it didn't work out. It was worth a try though. Now here we can see the friendly cruisers. They have popped some smoke and are hiding here. Mr. Love is providing some additional smoke. Now those cruisers don't necessarily need that, but I think he wants to help those battleships. Now those battleships here, they are sailing broadside onto, and they could be under fire from all those enemies. It's not a very healthy position to be in. It would be better if these battleships turned more towards the center, I think. Then they'd be bow on towards the enemies and they could support a push in the middle. And with the smoke here, it would be an ideal opportunity for them. But they seem to continue to reinforce here the outer flank. Now they only have 2 ships here on the right side, so these 2 battleships must be rather careful. They can't really push too far without any support. And yeah, Mr. Love here is helping to control this center. You can't be too aggressive in a destroyer, you have to be careful, especially if your smoke is down, that you can escape. Also keep in mind that he is only at tier 5. And if he would meet the enemy Mayhem, he'd be in trouble. And I mean, there he is. What he is trying to do here is providing some spotting, preventing the enemy destroyer from coming too close, and give some early warning for his team if there are torpedoes this way. And we can see a lot of the friendly team, the cruisers are trying to use this island as cover. And the battleships, they are still a little bit passive here. It would be nice if they try to be a bit more aggressive. So far it's working. Now it looks like the enemy destroyer is charging. Now in a Fujin you can't win gun duel against the Mayhem. Well, most likely you won't, so he has to retreat here and he has to rely on his support. Unfortunately, this island is preventing a few of those cruisers from helping him. But Mr. Love can safely retreat here behind this island, and the enemy destroyer is way too aggressive. Now the Mayhem is obviously going to win a duel against the Fujin, or should win, but he's now pushing so aggressively into all those forces that the enemy main is probably going down. And that would be a huge deal, because the enemies only have 2 destroyers, and the other destroyer is kamikaze, I think. And yeah, the fire took care of the mayhem, and obviously help from the team. And it looks like the kamikaze is just sailing straight into torpedoes, and he couldn't dodge. Now that's a big deal. The enemy destroyers are dealt with. And Mr. Love will now pop his smoke here and try to get some nice shots on those enemy battleships. Now those enemy battleships are pushing, while the truly support battleships pushing, they have kind of run out of support. Unfortunately, their destroyers got taken out, and they don't seem to have a lot of cruiser support. I mean, maybe there is some fighting in the smoke. But yeah, I think the push from the enemies was not so well executed. And down goes the New Mexico. Now the Warspite will manage to retreat behind an island. Now we can see here on the right flank the friendly battleships here are pushing, and I think they're pushing a little bit too far. You have to be careful. If they push too far, they are under fire from the center and from the front, and they can't angle against both. So instead of pushing too far, they should probably stay here, maybe use this island, angle a bit more towards the center. It's not like you wanna take control of a corner here. There is absolutely no reason to have ships in a corner here on this map. You wanna take control of the center, and you wanna only be on the flank to support taking control of the center. Now the enemies have taken the center circle, but that's not really a problem as long as there's a friendly ship also in the center. You can contest it so the enemies aren't gaining any points, as you can see. And it's looking pretty good. The friendly team is in the lead and the enemies are out of destroyers. Now here on the left flank we can see an enemy battleship who is here way too far on the stone wall. He isn't helping anyone right over there. The friendly team is mostly staying here to the center, and unfortunately they've lost here one battleship at the flank and the other battleship continues to push. There's absolutely no reason to pursue these guys, especially since he is well in a bad spot, because all of those people here can shoot at him. He has no cover, and the further he pushes in, the worse his spot gets. And Mr. Love here can now dominate the center with, well, with the enemy destroyers gone, there isn't much that can challenge him here. He doesn't have to be concerned about destroyers suddenly popping up and spotting him. Well, his Nagato will spot him really soon when he comes around this corner, but the smoke is almost ready. So he's now going for the Nagato. And well, his torpedoes are almost ready as well, but maybe he can even just burn the Nagato. Oh, he's taking some hits here, but he should now be safely hidden in the smoke. And yeah, looks like the fire is dealing with the Nagato. And now he is capturing the center and the middle circle, so looking quite good. The enemy is down to 4 ships. Those ships aren't even really together. At this point, I think the friendly team has pretty much won. They just have to clean up the rest of the enemies. And look, most of the friendly team is still here around the center. I think the friendly team played rather well together. Most of them really focused on the objective, and it's paying off. Now the Belfast is dangerous if you are in a destroyer. The Belfast comes with hydroacoustic and radar, and we can see the radar is attacking him here. So the Belfast is a destroyer hunter basically. And you don't want to find a Belfast if you're in a destroyer. Now thankfully there is quite a bit of support around here. And the radar doesn't last too long. Of course, Mr. Love doesn't have smoke ready, so he's spotted either way. And it looks like the Belfast has stopped shooting him. I'm not sure why. He is certainly the, I think, most important target and the easiest to kill. But that's a Belfast taken care of. Belfast was in a bad spot, considering how many friendly ships are around here. Now the enemy battleship here is returning, but he spent way too much time on the left zone wall where he couldn't really influence the battle. So those 3 ships here, they aren't even to push in here. This König is probably going down pretty soon. And one of the friendly battleships who pushed in this corner, I think, is saying that the team's bad. I wouldn't agree with that. I think the team played this really well. And look, I mean, all those ships, they are in the center of the objective. Can't fault them for that. Now we speed up the rest a little bit. They're just hunting down the remaining ships. And Mr. Love is going for some torpedoes here, and he's deploying a smoke screen and firing his guns. At this point it's just, well, it doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, the enemy is slightly outside of his gun range. He's slowly reversing in order to shoot the last remaining target. And looks like the enemy is deploying smoke as well. He managed to start a fire. So that's good news, I guess. And yeah, pretty soon there's the win. Let's take a look at the results. Mr. Love managed to get 2075 base experience, and he sunk 5 enemy ships. The last one was due to a fire, and overall I think he played rather well. He was in the center in the beginning, and actually most of the game he was in the front. He was spotting enemies, deploying smoke for his team, and pressuring the enemies with torpedoes. He had quite a bit of support from the team. I think it was nice to see that so many of the friendlies were in the center and fighting for the center. And overall the team won. So very well played by them. Mr. Love unleashed the Kraken, and he did 3,000 points of damage, which doesn't seem that much. But keep in mind that he also was instrumental in taking out both enemy destroyers, and destroyers have a very low hit point pool. And besides damage, I think he just was at the right places at the right time, supporting his team. And overall, I think it was just a nice game to show when your team is doing rather well in general and is at the objective. So I hope you enjoyed watching this game, and I'll see you guys next time.